soon-to-be storied edition of this rivalry. The University of Miami has won 4 consecutive games against their rivals from Tallahassee. And a lot on the line today for both these teams for different reasons. Florida State winning the toss, deferring to the second half. The Hurricanes will have the football first. Brashard Smith on the return, and he takes it out to the 27-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for the offense. And already you can see some of the extra emotion down there on the field. Little extra activity after the whistle. Well, Tyler Van Dyke has been one of the hottest quarterbacks in the nation. And let's take one more look at what ensued after the whistle. Supposed to let go of the guy's leg, right?
Yes, you're definitely supposed to let go of his leg. But they're already getting chippy, baby. This is must-see TV. This is the rivalry.
Tyler Van Dyke, 15 touchdown passes against just 4 interceptions. Out to Harley, and he picks up about 3 on first down. It'll be second down and 7. Van Dyke completing 64% of his passes on this season. He took over from D'Eriq King, who was injured after the 3rd game of the season. And since that time, this Hurricane offense has become really unleashed. That pass complete. Forward progress going to be at the 30-yard line to Charleston Rambo, who's been one of the hottest receivers in the country over the last 3 weeks.
Yes, Charleston Rambo has been on fire, but right there you see Jarvis Brownlee Jr., number 3, who's going to be matched up against him the entire game, making a big tackle right there. This is going to be a matchup to watch the entire game.
3rd and 4, Knighton motions out of the backfield. Pass batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. So it'll be 3 and out for the Hurricanes on their opening drive of the football game.
That pass right there was knocked down by number 4, Keir Thomas. You're going to see him right here off the edge. He just gets his hand right up there in his face. He had a great game last week, getting 2 sacks. And this Florida State defensive line, they are something special.
Thomas, the reigning Defensive Player of the Week in the ACC after that stellar performance you mentioned, Robert, last week in their win against Georgia Tech. Pardon me, in their loss against North Carolina State. And Mastromano. Hegley into punt. It'll be first and 10 after Ontario Wilson returns it after the 49-yard punt. Jordan Travis is back this week after missing last week with the flu. And Robert, when you talk about the bare necessities of this Seminole offense, he's the guy that they really need to perform well.
Yes, you could say it all starts and ends with the offensive line for every single team. But when Jordan Travis is in the game, he gives Florida State an opportunity to not only be competitive, but to win. And it's all about his legs. He can make some electrifying plays that you've never seen before.
The toss into the boundary. That's going to be Jashawn Corbin. He and Ward doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the backfield for the Seminoles. Nice gain of 8 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 2.
You're going to see both of these teams kind of go with this up-tempo offense. They like to stretch the field, get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. We'll see who's got the better ones today.
Wilson in motion. On the keeper, Jordan Travis picks up the first down. Out to the 40-yard line. There's an example of his running ability. He picks up 10.
Yeah, what they're doing is with the eye candy, they got Pookie out there running, and they just do a quarterback counter run. Jordan Travis, I told you, he's got legs. This guy can make some plays quick, fast. He can hit the home run. They're trying to get him the ball in open field as much as they possibly can.
1st and 10. Travis, the first Seminole quarterback to run for back-to-back 100-yard games on the ground. When you consider the storied history of quarterbacks that have played here, that's a big accomplishment. Treshaun Ward brought down by Flagg Jr. Picked up 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6. Travis several times this year has given way to Mackenzie Milton, who started last week in that loss against North Carolina State. But he's back and feeling much better. Started practicing on Tuesday this week. In the wake of the flu bug.
I was going to say, they said he was a little winded in the first couple of practices, but he's good now.
And that's going to be offside against Miami. Corey Flagg a little overzealous, which earns a flag.
Offside. Defense, number 11, made contact. 5-yard penalty.
I was gonna say, Mark, that was a little flag on flag crime there, right?
Yes, it was. Not something that Manny Diaz wants to see much of today. Manny Diaz, a graduate of Florida State University, head coach of the Hurricanes on the toss. This is Ward. Nice gain. Great move. Hit him with some sauce and makes it down to the 21-yard line. Great shift on Tyreek Stevenson by Ward. And there's a flag down as well on the 30-yard gain.
After the play was out of bounds, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 0 in the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
We see this happen in rivalry games with all the emotion sometimes, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, James Williams there, number 0. Look, Treshaun Ward's clearly out of bounds. You can't make that mistake. He's a freshman, and that right there was a freshman mistake. In games like these, every single blade of grass matters. You don't want to give them an opportunity to get free yards down the field.
An impressive opening drive of the football game for Florida State. DJ Williams now in at tailback, the Auburn transfer. Travis is going to keep it himself on a predetermined quarterback run and will lose a yard. It'll be second down and 11.
What you'll see a lot of times from Kenny Dillingham is he'll come back and repeat plays. That right there was the same exact quarterback counter play they did earlier in the drive, having Pookie Williamson going on the other side, trying to, fake it to him, but it just wasn't there that time. Miami sniffed it out, got the play.
Manny Diaz has been very involved in some of the defensive play calling of late. Former defensive coordinator at several stops previous to Miami. And we got another flag.
Offside. Defense, number 4.
Keontre Smith that time.
Still second down.
That's the second one on this drive.
And that was actually Pokey Wilson that they did the eye candy motion with on the other side. Just to correct that real quick. Hey, they're throwing flags. We're making mistakes. It is what it is, man. Listen, we're all human.
Second and 5. Just outside the 6-yard line, Travis looking to throw, reverses field, nowhere to go, and wisely throws it away. There's a late flag down by the 20-yard line. Smith was there in pursuit, and he might have gotten him by his collar.
I think it was a horse collar.
Perplexed Manny Diaz watching from the sidelines.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside the tackle box. Personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 4 of the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
3 penalties already.
Yeah, you see it right there. He just pulls him back by the horse collar. Listen, they don't want those types of tackles in football anymore because we've seen so many guys blow out their knees and have these catastrophic injuries. And if you're Miami, listen, you guys work on tackling every day.
Yeah.
You have to understand that you can't do that.
See penalties, one of them unsportsmanlike. The Hurricanes lead amongst leaders in the country in unsportsmanlike penalties. First down and goal for Florida State on their opening drive. Travis out of the shotgun. Toss to the wide side of the field. DJ Williams trying to spin but won't get in. Brought down at about the 2 and another flag called. We can see what happens here. It's going to go against the Hurricanes again.
Offside. Defense, number 5. The penalty be accepted. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
In a game like this, you can't underscore enough how paramount poise is to being successful. And Manny Diaz right there trying to get his guys to turn down a little bit.
Yeah, it's not just about the physical and the mental. It's about the emotional. And you have to be in control of that in such a big game like today.
5 penalties. Between the tackles, nowhere to go. Williams brought down immediately by Silvera. Jade Silvera, who earlier this week said, hey, if you don't know your record against Florida State, you don't know anything. He certainly knows where he stands with respect to this rivalry.
Yes, he does. And
He's trying to go perfect, Robert.
You see his name, Nestor, but everybody knows him as Jade. Jade Silvera. He's trying to make the crib great. That's what he said when he went to Miami.
2nd and goal. Travis takes it himself. Touchdown, Florida State. Travis back in full effect for the Seminoles, showing no ill effects of that flu bug last week. That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, the 15th of his career. So Florida State strikes first here. Mastromano in for the extra point. They let Fitzgerald kick it, and he knocks it through. Aided by several penalties along the way, Travis got his team on the doorstep and called his own number. Back right after this. This country. And all the veterans out there that have selflessly served. And he calls for the fair catch. Robert, your parents both military members, right?
Yes, and it's you know, Veterans Day was a couple of days ago,
Right.
but it's Veterans Week, and there's an appreciation for our soldiers that I don't think gets put out there enough. And
Amen.
so I want to say thank you to my parents for serving this country, sacrificing. Thank you to all those who have. And I know that every veteran out there yearns for their country to love them as much as they love it, and we'll keep fighting that battle.
First and 10 for the Hurricanes. Knighton in the backfield. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Will Mallory. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Hurricanes went 3 and out on their first possession of the football game. Tyler Van Dyke is the first quarterback at UM to pass for more than 325 yards in 3 consecutive games since none other than Bernie Kosar. Taking a shot on the post, underthrown, and intercepted by Dent. And now it's going to be Cooper, actually, that came up with the pick. A big miscue by Tyler Van Dyke.
Tyler Van Dyke has been playing with a lot of confidence the past couple weeks, but right here, it's the pressure in his face by Cooper that doesn't allow him to step into the throw. And Akeem Dent right there, Johnny on the spot. That's not Akeem Dent, that's our guy, Omarion Cooper. Omarion Cooper, Johnny on the spot, tracks the ball. Look, corners aren't supposed to make that play.
Really?
That's why they play corner. But listen, he's out there tracking the ball, great ball skills. Big play for the Seminoles.
6th consecutive game with an interception for the Seminoles. They run the sweep. This is Douglas. And Douglas picks up about 6 on the play. Leonard Taylor, the impressive freshman, making the tackle, and another flag down.
Holding offense number 87. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Well, tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time on ABC, Notre Dame has a tough test against Virginia in Charlottesville on Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One. Nose of the ball resting at the 24-yard line. Jordan Travis with an impressive opening drive, running it in for a touchdown a few moments ago. They've got the ball again here. Corbin in the backfield. Travis. This is where he can beat you with his legs. Gets out to the 31, 32-yard line. Taylor and Flagg making the stop, a 7-yard gain.
This is the beautiful thing about Florida State's offense. They just showed them the same formation, same motion, and ran a different play. That's what Kenny Dillingham loves to do, giving the defense multiple looks to keep them guessing out there on the field.
They fake the receiver screen. Travis reloads and completes it to Portier. here with his 4th reception of the season. Picks up 5 on the play. 3rd down coming up.
This is a big 3rd down, but I just want to revisit that interception by Omarion Cooper. That's exactly why, as a quarterback, you don't underthrow the deep ball. You got to let it fly. Throw it out the back end, because when you underthrow it, you give the DBs an opportunity to make a play. And boy, oh boy, did Florida State make one. But here, 3rd and 8, I wouldn't be surprised if they ran the ball.
That's what they've been doing very well, especially during that 3-game winning streak.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Welcome, everyone, to Doak Campbell Stadium here in Tallahassee, Florida, the capital city of Florida. Mark Jones, Robert Griffin, Quint Kessenich calling it for you. The 66th edition of Florida State against the University of Miami. Jordan Travis, the quarterback for the Seminoles, led his team down the field on their opening drive and ran it in himself for a touchdown. Right now he's looking at 3rd and 13. This is Corbin, and Corbin is going to be far short of the 1st down, and they'll have to punt. Here's what transpired on that opening drive. Travis with several key plays after missing last week because of the flu bug. Game in which they lost to North Carolina State, then he ran it in himself right there. And that's where we stand, 7-0 as they get ready to punt. Robert, how important is he to their offense?
As is always with this Florida State offense, Jordan Travis's legs are what really make them go. He opens up holes for the...
This is ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's as part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. 1st and 10, and the first touch by James Knighton. Robert, we both have family members who have served, and what about mom and dad? I love being on tour with you. I get to meet mom and dad at several stops so far.
Yes, mom and dad both served, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you to my mom and dad and all those veterans who have served in our military. I know all the veterans out there just yearn for their country to love them as much as they love it, and we'll keep fighting that battle every step of the way.
Amen on that. Knighton again on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 to go. Shout out to Tuskegee Airmen through the years, Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah.
Great work in their service. 3rd down and 3. Quick slant complete out to the 43. Restrepo. Restrepo makes the catch, picks up 7, and moves the chains, their first down of the ball game, out to the 43. With just under 6 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. Restrepo and Jalen Knighton, a couple of former high school buddies and teammates. This is Knighton, puts his hat down and crosses midfield into Seminoles territory. Let's go downstairs to Quint.
Miami's season flipped. It changed on a switch with the insertion of Tyler Van Dyke as their starting quarterback. Freshman from New England, blue collar, tough. He's humble, he's confident, team first guy. He spoke from the heart prior to that NC State game. The Wolfpack took it as bulletin board material. This team and Manny Diaz has backed him since those words, and he's torn it up the last 3 weeks. Van Dimes, the freshman.
Love that nickname, Q. Yeah, before the North Carolina game, as you look at the numbers, he said, you know what? They've got good players, but we hung 44 on them last week. He's confident, Robert.
Oh, yeah, Tyler Van Dyke. Look at those numbers, man. This guy has been in fuego the last 3 weeks, playing with swagger. He's speaking with bravado, and he's injecting a Miami-like confidence in this entire team. Man, it's been fun to watch him, but thus far in the game, Florida State has kept them under wraps.
See Derek King there on the sidelines with his injured shoulder. Knighton battling for the first down. It's going to be an interesting 4th and short coming up. Keir Thomas making the tackle. Manny Diaz with a little bit of a decision here with 5 minutes to go.
Oh, it's rivalry week. It's hate week.
Okay.
He's going for it.
Going for it.
You got to go for it, right?
Looks like there's less than a yard to go. Look at offensive coordinator Rhett Lashlee. Robert, his offense is something that you're very familiar with, right?
Yes, Rhett Lashlee spent the majority of his career under the tutelage of Gus Malzahn. I was recruited out of high school by Gus Malzahn, and They run a system that's eerily similar to what I ran coming out in at Baylor University. So that play action slant, it's all based off the run. You're going to see Jaylan Knighton today and the amount of carries he gets and how he infuses this offense with the ability to take the big chunk play actions. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a high-flying offense, and it's fast.
There's a look at Knighton. Got most of the carries and running back duty after Cameron Harris was injured for the rest of the season. 4th down and a little less than 1 to go. Miami on the season is 50%, 7 of 14 on 4th down. The offense will remain on the field here, and they're going to go for it. The first early defining moment of this rivalry game. Knighton gets the call, and it looks like he got it. They moved the chains, so Manny Diaz takes a gamble on 4th down, and it bears dividends here in the first quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. Diaz team 5-4 overall in this game, 3-2 in conference play. Nothing would be better for Miami than to become bowl eligible today with a 6th win, and in the process ending the Seminoles' opportunities of becoming bowl eligible.
Oh yeah, there's a lot on the line today. A lot on the line, and both of these coaches would just love it. Would just love it to send this other team packing with just sadness, right?
And a lot more. Mike Norvell has done a wonderful job this year with his team after a slow start, which included a loss to Jacksonville State here, an FCS squad at home. They lost the first 4, bounced back with a 3-game winning streak, and then now on a 2-game losing streak. One of those, though, without their starting quarterback, Jordan Travis. Knighton put his foot in the ground and picked up about 2 on the play. Let's take a look at RG3's keys.
Yes, the keys to the game. You got to block the Monstars. Miami's offensive line has to be able to hold up against this talented Florida State front. You got to contain Jordan Deshaun. Jordan Travis is back, and if you're Miami, just find Jay-Sean, Trayshawn, or Keyshawn. That's where the ball will be. And then you got to beware of Cerberus. FSU has to find a way to stop Miami's 3-headed offensive monster of Jaylan Knighton, TVD, and Charleston Rambo.
Van Dyke over the middle. There's that slant you talked about. Waiting for a call. It might be caught by the Seminoles. Picked off. It was intended for Harley, but Jamie Robinson got there before. He ripped it out of Harley's arms. That's his 3rd interception of the season. And the Seminoles with another defining defensive play here early.
Right here, it's a bang-bang play, and Jamie Robinson said.
1st down and 10 for the Seminoles from their own 43 after the interception by Jamie Robinson a moment ago. Travis pulls it out on the RPO and picks up about 3 on the play. This is ESPN College Football, folks, delivered by Papa John's. On a radiant Saturday afternoon here in Tallahassee, you're watching the ACC on ESPN. The 66th chapter of Miami against Florida State, and that young man off to a rocky start. Tyler Van Dyke already with a couple of interceptions after throwing only 4 the entire season. 2nd down and 8 for Jordan Travis. Jay-Sean Corbin in the backfield. Corbin takes the handoff straight ahead between the tackles down to the 48. Tackled by Silvera. Picked up 2 on the play. 3rd down coming up for Florida State. We talked about it a moment ago, Robert. When these guys, the Seminoles, got on their 3-game roll, their winning streak, Coach Norvell's squad was running the ball extremely well. Corbin and Ward did a lot of the heavy lifting.
Oh, they were running better than any team in the country. And now they got Jordan Travis back, and they can kind of maybe fall right back into that. And so far today, we've seen them have a lot of success.
McDonald in motion. Man, we got more movement by the Hurricanes defense. James Williams.
Offside, defense number 0. Unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, is still 3rd down.
Kenzie Milton got the start last week for Florida State in the absence of Jordan Travis. If you don't already know his story, he is one of the most inspiring athletes in the country right now, not just in college football. When you talk about the fact that he suffered a cataclysmic leg injury, which almost resulted in him having his leg amputated, and to be back on the football field with the ability to play is really a miracle. Travis facing a blitz, and they got him with the pressure. Corey Flagg sacked him way back. Manny Diaz likes that fire zone, that field blitz, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And I was going to say, nice play there by Corey Flagg. You'll see him right here coming off the outside and just gets inside the and look, this Miami defense loves to bring pressure, right? They don't have a true pass rush specialist this year, so they dial it up with blitzes here and there. And right now, it looked like there that Florida State had no answer for it. Corey Flagg comes in clean. They make up for all the penalties and get Florida State to punt.
24th sack of the season for the Hurricanes. Mastromano with the punt. Kobe George watches it bounce out of bounds right around the 20-yard line.
They have to clean those things up if they really want to be the Miami team that they think it can be.
Van Dyke pulls it out and incomplete at the 30-yard line. Broken up by Gaynor. You know, one thing that helped the improvement of this Miami offense over the last 3 games, besides quarterback Van Dyke, was the improvement, Robert, of the offensive line. Maybe the most improved group since the start of the year, after offensive line coach Garin Justice really put the group on blast after the first couple of games.
Yeah, if you think about Miami, it's always been about the skill guys, right? The sexy players. But in the trenches, they've always been dominant. If they want to be the Miami of old, they have to get back to that, and I think that's what the coach is preaching to his guys.
And more motion.
False start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Off the top of my head, I think that's, what, 7 penalties now against Miami?
Man, Jared Williams just adding to the count, man.
Yep.
That's not what you want to do.
Going to back them up a little bit more. 7 for 35. Most of those coming on that opening drive on defense, helping out the Seminoles offensively. 1:21 to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 15, Van Dyke. Little screen, incomplete for Knighton. It's an incomplete pass. And Knighton is having to hear it right now.
Forward and incomplete.
Jermaine Johnson right up in his grill and his face mask. And it's going to be 3rd down and 15. Johnson, one of their best defensive players at Florida State. In fact, this defensive front with Johnson and Keir Thomas is one of the best the Hurricanes have faced in a while. Van Dyke. Ball came loose. It's on the ground. And it looks like the Hurricanes may have gotten it back. Still waiting for a signal. The hit was made by Johnson, who we talked about a moment ago.
You don't want to know what's going on at the bottom of that pile.
I won't ask. The officials still haven't said anything. Florida State football. There's the catalyst, Jermaine Johnson.
Listen, Jermaine Johnson will be a top pick.
Running on the field was a fumble.
As you see him here, look, he gets physical. Tells the offensive lineman, get out the way, man. Gets his hand on the quarterback, causes the fumble, and then gets in there as part of the recovery process. Jermaine Johnson is not just a great player at Florida State. He will be a Sunday guy. He's big, he's physical, he's got the moves, and he has the energy and the motor to get this Florida State defense rocking.
Wow. Leads the ACC in sacks and tackles for loss and adds to the total there. That's the 3rd turnover of the game for Miami.
Listen, there might have been a couple people who are a little unsure coming into this game if you're a Florida State fan. But in this game, listen, the records don't matter, right? A guy named Primetime said, if you don't believe in yourself, how will anybody else believe in you? And right now, FSU is believing.
Been a lot of Hall of Famers in this rivalry game between these two schools. They're reviewing the call and the play. The ball coming out. Are they trying to say that it might have been an incomplete pass, perhaps, because his arm was coming forward?
Yeah,
not quite sure.
We'll get another look at that. And I think it's hilarious that Jermaine Johnson actually made the offensive lineman do a spin move.
Oh,
Never really see that, right?
He spun him.
So then here, oh my. His arm is going forward. The question is, was he throwing the ball, or did it come out of his possession before the hand came forward?
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're up here and those refs are watching the play right now.
Yeah, they're adjudicating the call right now.
See it
Here's
here.
another angle.
Oh, no, it's coming out before. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like right at the point of contact, the ball shifts in his hand before he's throwing the ball forward. Man, you want to talk about helping a brother out.
Yeah.
Miami, with the flags, the blocking up front, they are not helping a brother out right now when it comes to Tyler Van Dyke.
Miami got to get that subscription to HBO, right?
Exactly. HBO, man, help a brother out. He hasn't been doing it by himself.
No.
It's been a collective effort. But if you don't protect your quarterback, man, you don't have a chance.
We saw a shot of D'Eriq King on the sidelines a moment ago. He was a starting quarterback for the first 3 games of the regular season before giving way to a shoulder injury, which ended his season. The officials still looking at this. There's a look at D'Eriq King.
Yeah. You know, in the keys, we talked about the fact that Miami's offensive line had to block the Monstars. This Florida State defensive front is one of the best in the ACC, if not the best, right? With all the injuries that Clemson has had, and they lead the ACC in sacks.
After further review, the ruling of a fumble on the field stands.
Johnson with a big play on a big day for him. Jermaine Johnson, a senior, part of senior day activities and festivities here. Jermaine Johnson, the transfer from Georgia. Mackenzie Milton as well. Talked about his comeback, his inspiration. 1st and 10 for Jordan Travis from the 12. He hands it off. A little bit of room around the edge. Corbin scores! Touchdown, Florida State. In one fell swoop on a sweep. The Seminoles go up by a couple of touchdowns.
We told you earlier, find the Shawns. Miami's got to contain him. And Jashaun Corbin got around the edge. They capitalized off the turnover really quick. Man, if you're a Florida State fan, you got to be jumping for joy right now.
For Corbin, that's his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. 14th of his career. Guy that's been a real leader on that offensive side of the football for the Seminoles all year long. What was the key on this last run by Corbin, Robert?
Yeah, the key is obviously getting the edge. This guy right here and this guy right here have to set the edge of the defense. They don't. Jashaun Corbin gets the ball, and guess what? Speed in space always wins the race. That's what these guys are trying to do. They're trying to get their athletes in space and let them go to work, and Jashaun Corbin made that look way too easy, baby.
Scored on a nice touchdown run last week, albeit in that loss against North Carolina State. But that guy right there catalyzed that one-play drive and score with the strip, the sack, and maybe even the recovery. 14-0 quickly here in Tallahassee for the Seminoles over the Hurricanes.
Man, when you talk about Jermaine Johnson, right? I just know NFL GMs and all the scouts that are in attendance today are licking their chops, because this guy, 6'5", 262 pounds, fast, physical, plays with great effort. I mean, Coach was just telling us how he was running the quarterback down on Friday, 25 yards down the field. Yeah. Those are the kind of guys that you want on your team.
And Miami will take it 1st and 10 from their own 25 as we go back to the studio for the first time. Guys,
good afternoon. Time now for the Rocket Mortgage studio update. And there was zero chance Purdue could sneak up on Ohio State after already upsetting 2 top 5 teams. Travion Henderson, 52 yards for the touchdown. All Buckeyes early, 21-7.
All right, 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. Let's go down to Quint.
Like a boxer knocked down to the canvas for the first time. This Miami team in their corner, sulking. Heads are down. Don't see much positive body language. Guys looking around. They've emboldened this crowd, and their offense continues to be disjointed and dysfunctional. Too many mistakes in terms of penalties, no explosive plays. This is a nightmarish start for the Canes.
There's a guy that can help solve some of those ills. Knighton with a nice run for about 4 yards. Yeah, the Hurricanes appearing to be in a near catatonic state here in the first quarter. Knighton showing a little bit of patience on this run, picks up 3 more. It'll be 3rd down, about 3 to go. Malcolm Ray making the tackle for the Seminoles. Knighton last week ran for 162 yards on over 30 carries for a guy that's relatively slight of build. But he said that he's had a fantastic week of practice along with his teammates ready to go. Van Dyke had it batted down to the line of scrimmage by Jared Jackson. So it'll be 4th and 3, another 3 and out for the Hurricanes offense.
Man, oh man, we talked about how on fire they were coming into this game, and they've been the complete opposite for the majority of this quarter. This Florida State defensive line is winning at every point. On the outside, on the interior. They're winning at the point of attack, pushing the pocket back, and that's why Tyler Van Dyke seems uncomfortable. 2 interceptions, a fumble. Man, this Florida State defense is really playing to their potential.
Wilson back for this punt. There was contact made apparently before, and now a flag thrown. We could see a lot of linen on the field here today. We've already seen a bunch.
I just think the refs are trying to let everybody know, like, they're going to keep this game under control. Big rivalry, a lot of emotions. But, man, that is a lot of flags.
We'd just like to.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 23. The penalty is 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
That part is fine as long as we don't see any of those erroneous, unsportsmanlike conduct calls.
Oh, boy, don't get you started on that one. I know how you feel about those unsportsmanlike taunting calls.
1st and 10 from the 41 for Florida State. Wait, folks, tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, all-access look inside Russell Wilson's remarkable recovery before he returns against the Packers. Plus, Randy Moss ranks the best catches from the week's college football action in You Got Mossed. 7 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Nice fake by Travis. And he's going to pick up a first down, still on his feet. Travis down to the 40-yard line. A great exclamation point on the end of the first 15 minutes for the Seminoles.
Timeout. Player injury.
19-yard gain, and that's going to be the end of the first 15 minutes. Manny Diaz's squad a little bit off balance right now. And we have a player injured at the 45-yard line for Miami. And then scored quickly just a few moments ago. Trayshawn Ward in the backfield on 1st down and 10 from the Hurricane 50. A high toss, and Ward going to be brought down immediately. Might have lost a yard. Flag making the tackle on the play. And, you know, interesting, Robert, that a moment ago I said Bobby Bowden Field. This is the first Florida State-Miami game without the legendary late Bobby Bowden, and can't help but think about how much of an integral piece he was for this rivalry. He is a big part of the face of the rivalry between these two schools. Travis taking a shot downfield, wide open and caught. Ontario Wilson makes it 1st and goal.
Ontario Wilson sneaks in behind the coverage. He's wide open. You'll see him, and this guy right here just lets him go. This safety has to be able to get over here to make that play, and he does it. Jordan Travis finds him. Beautiful play.
35-yard gain. They run it on 1st and goal. That's Trayshawn Ward, and Ward keeps those legs moving. Makes it all the way down to the 3-yard line. Let's go one more time and take a look at that long pass play.
Yes, listen, you see this relationship right here. This corner has nothing in front of him. He has to sink until a threat comes out there, and if he doesn't, the safety has to get over the top to make sure that that whole shot throw cannot be made. They didn't do it, and listen, I told you Jordan Travis's legs would make him special, but he does have the arm to get the job done, and he showed it off right there.
Gonna do it himself, but nowhere to go. Big time hit that time by Keontre Smith. Out of West Park, Florida, the 5'11" sophomore makes it 3rd down and goal now for the Seminoles.
Real quickly, I want to go back to your comment about Bobby Bowden. And it's not that he just was a big part of this rivalry. You know, he still is. And even college football, you just see all the love he's gotten in all the different places that we've been. It just shows you the impact that he had on the game. And he's a special coach for sure.
Feels a little different without him here this afternoon. Into the end zone, Travis overshoots his receiver. That was Malik McClain, and it'll be 4th down, so the Hurricanes get a stop.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, Jordan Travis was trying to 20-0 skunk them right there, trying to make them pass the controller. Just got to bring the ball down a little bit, give your receiver an opportunity on that red zone fade. But they'll still have an opportunity to get 3 here and go up 17-0, which I don't know if anybody really anticipated the game going this way this early.
Ryan Fitzgerald now in to attempt this field goal. 6 of 8 on the season. This one coming from 22 yards out. Like a drill. 17-0 for the Seminoles. So many. Smith back for this kick. And he'll watch it go out and into the end zone. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, time for your Perfect Mat studio update brought to you by Cars.com. Peyton Thorne, Jalen Reed. Those two a perfect match on this one. Remember, Michigan already in the clubhouse with a win. Sparty missed the extra point. They're up 13-0 on Maryland midway through the first.
1st and 10 for the 25. Tyler Van Dyke looking to find his rhythm here. Maybe he needs to lean on the prolific running of Jalen Knighton a little bit. But he goes back to pass and lunges forward to the 28-yard line. I talked about the drip, the swag. This is how you do it when you're from Dade County, Robert Griffin III.
Okay.
The bus got to bounce a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. Look at the.
You got a little Rick Ross on the speakers in the bus.
The shocks on that bus must be really good, man.
And then you get your little dance on the field. Looking for a little bit more levity and celebration, a reason to celebrate. Smith with the catch, working against Cooper. 3rd and short coming up after that 6-yard gain. Knighton on the handoff, and he'll move the chains out to the 37-yard line.
And you know, Mark, you talk about that swag, right? They need that swag back to get back in this game. And you're right, they do need to lean on Jalen Knighton, a.k.a. Rooster. You know, this offense, everybody sees the big plays, but it's really based in the run game. They have to win the line of scrimmage in order for them to get back on track.
Van Dyke on the play fake. Incomplete. Intended for Keyshawn Smith. Closely covered by Akeem Dent. You know, we were talking about Jalen Knighton, number 4, the tailback. He's a guy that initially committed to Florida State, to play here at Florida State. And then when Willie Taggart was let go by the Seminoles, administration flipped and changed his mind and ended up at the University of Miami. He was actually the number 3 tailback at the start of the season, and now really having a successful year. Motions out of the backfield. Van Dyke to Harley, got rocked by Akeem Dent. Put a dent in Harley.
Oh, my Lord. Akeem Dent wants all the smoke today, baby. Look at this. Comes through. Oh, put a dent in his helmet and his shoulder pads. Oh, my Lord. It's a high-speed car accident right there.
But you can see Harley bounce up right away on the 5-yard gain out to the 41. 3rd down and 5.
You got to be a different kind of cat to be going around the middle hitting guys like that.
Van Dyke over the middle. Caught at the 48-yard line by Will Mallory. What a grab to pick up 11 and move the chains. Jamie Robinson was all over him.
Oh my goodness, you want to talk about HBO, help a brother out. What a catch.
Van Dyke taking a shot downfield, one-on-one. Little bumping and grinding going on the sideline. No flag. It was intended for Charleston Rambo, who has been very conspicuous by his silence so far. There's a look at him. There's a flag down in the play, but Rambo, remember, last week had 210 receiving yards. He was working against Brownlee.
Man, it looks like it might be an ineligible receiver downfield. They're discussing it with Mike Norvell in Florida State, what they're going to do.
An eligible receiver downfield, number 85. He was covered by a wide receiver. That penalty will be declined. Second down.
But Jones, you want to talk about Charleston Rambo? And I said earlier in the broadcast, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., number 3, would be matched up with him all game. And he is playing lights out right now because we have not been calling his name, especially since the way he played last week with the touchdown and 210 yards receiving.
Rambo on the sidelines right now. The Oklahoma transfer. Van Dyke back to pass. In the pocket. Got a man. And overshoots his receiver, George. Jacoby George was in behind the secondary. But Van Dyke just a little bit too strong on that one. Sets up a 3rd down and 10.
I think Van Dyke was having some memories of that interception earlier in the game when he underthrew the deep ball. So he was going to make sure this time that he did not underthrow it. But right there he had George wide open.
Right.
Make it easy for him, baby. Drop a dime, hit him in stride. Right now, Tyler Van Dyke needs to see the ball completed so he can get his confidence back.
3rd and 10. Harley in motion. Van Dyke gets rid of it quickly and incomplete for Harley. It'll be 4th down coming up for the Hurricanes. And the offense off the field again.
And you're seeing all these throws by Van Dyke, and it's almost like in basketball when you can't make anything. You can't make a jumper.
Right.
You can't make a 3. You got to get to the free throw line. Knock it down, see it go in, and then everything else will start to get into motion for you. He's missing deep throws. He's missing out routes. He has to calm down. He is the bringer of swagger for this team right now, and he doesn't have any, so his team doesn't either.
Already 6 of 18 with 10.5 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Wilson back for this punt on the return. They'll watch it bounce out of bounds. Oh, wow. The Hurricanes got a great spot here. Down right around the 1-yard line. Headley with a fantastic 46-yard punt. Will that be the case today?
Hopefully not. They don't want to hear you say wide down here in Tallahassee at all. But
I think about Carlos Huerta. I think about the Aguayos that have kicked at Florida State when you think special teams for Miami and Florida State respectively.
I can tell you right now that special teams for Miami has some swag too.
Travis out of the end zone completes it to the 6-yard line. That's Douglas. One more look at great special teams a moment ago by Miami.
Oh yeah, right here, number 94, Lou Headley. Listen, if they had to create a punter in a factory to play at Miami, it would look like Lou Headley.
Okay.
He's Australian. He has 2 full arm sleeves, and he heard, "Hey, you want to come down to Miami and punt?" And he said, "Sign me up, mate."
Did not take an official visit, I bet. He sight unseen. 46-yard punt for Florida State inside their own 2-yard line. It's 2nd down and 5 for Jordan Travis. Travis on a predetermined quarterback run. Nobody set the edge, and he picks up the 1st down for the Seminoles. 1st and 10.
Said it before, say it again. Speed and space always wins the race. If you're facing Jordan Travis, you got to contain him in the pocket. The teams that have played well against Florida State. The teams that don't have been down like this, like Miami.
Saw James Williams limp off to the sideline, the starting safety for the Hurricanes. Look at the numbers so far on Jordan Travis. This in wake of missing last week because of the flu. Corbin in the backfield takes the handoff. Boy, a yawning hole between the tackles, and they gash the Hurricanes, Quint. 1st down.
When you're defending Jordan Travis, you got to basically stop 2 plays. That is the play that's designed in the whiteboard And then the impromptu plays, the plays that break down where he just goes into that gray area and makes something happen. Manny Diaz struggling with Travis as an improviser.
And they're struggling with Corbin on this run. He picks up another first down, got about 13 on the play. Coaches say that Travis can be elite.
He has elite traits, right?
Yep.
His elite trait is his ability to run the football. He can run, he can cut, he's agile. And listen, he can throw well enough to keep defenses honest. And right now he's executing at a really high level and creating other things for the Corbins and the Treshaun Wards of the world right now.
First and 10, quick drop, completes it over the middle to the tight end, Jordan Wilson. They move the chains again with 8 minutes to go here in the first half. An authoritative toss there by Travis.
Yes, and what you don't see on the replay here is the fact that they ran the same play, same look to show the defense, and then changed it up by throwing the RPO.
McClain with a catch and run that time. Nice gain. This Florida State Seminole offense begs the question defensively from Miami. How do you slow down this surge by Florida State?
Yeah, I feel like for Miami, you just got to get back to doing what you've been doing, and that's bringing pressure, bringing those from the field blitzes. It'll help calm down their players because that's what they're used to doing. Right now, they're being reactionary, and Jordan Travis, Jashaun Corbin, and Treshaun Ward are beating them to the punch every single time.
Second and 8, nowhere to go that time. Good play by those guys up front. Treshaun Ward stopped up for a loss of a couple on the play. Lost 3. Well, our Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup is an NFC West rivalry game. Rams 49ers, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN Deportes, the app. ESPN2 will have Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli. Under 7 minutes to go here.
It's interesting. We talk about what does Miami need to do, and right there on that last play, they brought pressure, got a tackle for loss. It's just it's in their nature, and it's what they've been doing all year and been successful at.
Travis, little counter here. This is Corbin, and Corbin with a nice run. Let me tell you something about Jashaun Corbin and how he pays particular attention to detail. After their disheartening loss to Jacksonville State here at home, while he was waiting to fulfill his media responsibilities patiently, you know what he was doing? He was picking up garbage and trash around him in the locker room. I mean, that says a lot about the type of young man he is.
I remember a player from Miami by the name of Ed Reed who got really upset when he was with the Baltimore Ravens because the locker room wasn't clean. It's the details that matter, people.
From 52 yards out, that's going to be wide and short right by Fitzgerald. So Miami will first and 10 from their own 34. Van Dyke on the bootleg completes it to Harley. Picks up about 9 on the play. So many great receivers have been in this rivalry. Harley had a chance to meet a couple of them at the University of Miami recently. Michael Irvin and the legendary Lamar Thomas as well. Harley respectfully went up to those guys and said, guys, I love you. I respect you. I love what you've done for the U, but I'm here to break your record. And he has since subsequently done that. Knighton on the run. Picks up about 3. Brownlee making the tackle on the play. Think about some of the big plays that Michael Irvin has made and Lamar Thomas has made. Gino Torretta has passed. Charlie Ward. They're going to run the reverse. Little flea flicker action. Van Dyke downfield. Mallory with the catch. Inside the 10, first and goal. Miami, they finally hit on one. Rhett Lashley dialed up a little special here.
Oh, yes, he did. They do a double reverse pass, and Will Mallory ends up wide open down the sideline, and Tyler Van Dyke throws a dime.
Knighton, meanwhile, with nowhere to go on first down. That previous play went for 45 yards. DeLoach making the tackle. It'll be second down and goal. How big is it that Miami score here?
They have to. They have to score. Look, they took a shot down the field, no chaser, and they ended up walking away with a very nice completion there to Will Mallory. But right now, they're down 17-0. They have to find a way to get a touchdown here. It's going to give them a lot more confidence throughout the rest of the game.
Van Dyke going to run it. Gets his hat down inside the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Is this 4th down territory? Are they thinking about a score? Is it too early for that?
It's too early. Too early for that. It's not 4th down territory.
Okay.
But listen, Tyler Van Dyke has to make sure it's not 4th down territory. Get it in right here on 3rd and goal. Otherwise, I would kick the field goal if I was calling the plays, because you need something to represent success for you on the day.
Been such a choppy start for the Hurricanes offensively.
Their big 3 at the receiver position are Charleston Rambo, Will Mallory, and Mike Harley. Those are their guys in these situations.
Over the middle, touchdown, Miami, Smith.
And guess what? They threw it to Keyshawn Smith. They said they got a Keyshawn of their own, and he just hauled in a touchdown catch on a beautiful throw from Tyler Van Dyke.
Van Dyke threw a rope that melted in Smith's arms. And that's his 3rd touchdown catch of the season and the 3rd of his career. Keyshawn Smith, under-recruited out of San Diego, California, battled a little bit of homesickness initially as a freshman. But much more comfortable now and made a significant contribution on the 6-yard drive and that touchdown pass by Tyler Van Dyke to Keyshawn Smith for their first score of the afternoon with 3:35 to go in the first half. Miami trying to make it 5 wins in a row against Florida State as we go back to the studio.
All right, guys, coming up in the Lexus halftime report, Georgia get a little bit of fight from Tennessee. We'll update you on that one. Plus, shades of the RG3 era at Baylor as they take down OU. And Buckeyes, Ohio State rolling against Purdue. We'll get you around the Big Ten. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
The Baylor Bears, Robert Griffin III. How about that?
Listen.
How about that?
Hey, they're trying to find their way into the Big 12 championship game and college football playoff as well. We'll see.
3:35 to go here. Seminoles 1st and 10 from their own 25. Between the tackles, nowhere to go for Jashaun Corbin. Let's go down to Quinn.
Temperature rising on this Hurricane sideline. That last drive just huge from an emotional standpoint. Little bounce in their step, positive body language, affirmation that they can have success. I'm still looking for more signs of leadership though, Mark. This program defined by iconic players who are great leaders. The Ray Lewises of the world, the Ed Reeds of the world, the Michael Irvins of the world. Haven't seen that.
Still an opportunity for it to emerge. Corbin with a spirited run down the sideline, broke a tackle and made Steed miss. There's a flag down as well. If it stands, it's a 23-yard pickup. And another Seminole 1st down. And this one's going to come back. Well, now for today's Aflac Trivia question. How many times did Florida State finish under 500 in 34 seasons under Bobby Bowden? And how many times since? Ooh, that's a two-pronged question.
Under 500 in 34 seasons under Bobby.
I'm going to say his first season only, and then after that, they never had one.
Okay. You don't think they've had one since he's been done?
How many since? I think probably, I guess 3.
Yeah.
Feels like about 3. 2nd and 9. Travis gets it out quickly to Wilson. And Wilson is brought down about 3 yards shy of the first down. So it'll be 3rd and 3. Kinchins making the tackle on the play. Talking about some of the legends and some of the great running backs for the Seminoles through the years in this series. Monte Freeman, a Miami native, wasn't recruited by the Hurricanes until his senior year of high school. And I remember him saying, hey, you know what? They're gonna have to learn. They're gonna have to pay for that.
They're gonna learn today.
And I remember him having a lot of success against these Hurricanes teams. Freeman, of course, in the NFL. Travis out of the backfield, complete. Ward close to the 40. And they get another big play with 2:12 to go in the first half. A 25-yard pickup. And we have James Williams limping.
Like we said, if you find Jayshon, Trayshawn, these guys are where the ball usually goes. And Trayshawn Ward, nice rail route there out of the backfield. Big time catch.
Time for the answer to our Athletic trivia question. How many times did Florida State finish under 500 under Bobby Bowden? How many times since? Oh, I was right.
There you go. Look at you.
I was right.
Florida native.
Hey, 3 times too.
And 3 times since.
Oh, okay. Oh, you buying dinner tonight.
You looked that up, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
This man had to look it up.
Hey, even a dead clock is right twice a day, right? You got a Hurricane player. That's James Williams. A tall, rangy safety, Robert, at 6'5", 224.
Yeah, they don't make guys that big, that fast, and that strong very often.
Florida State with the lead 17-7 after a bumpy start to the season, which included a loss at home here against FCS Jacksonville State. They played very well in their opener against Notre Dame, but then the loss against Jacksonville State really sent them reeling to an 0-4 start then.
Yes, it did, and then they won their next 3 games, and they went into Death Valley and actually played Clemson really, really close until the very end of the game. And last week, they didn't have the guy that's been starring today, Jordan Travis. And here, he's back, and you see the type of impact that he has had on this game with his ability to run and throw the ball. He's 10 of 11 for 144 yards, and he's got 9 carries for 41 yards. Listen, this guy's special. He's a special player. He's electric, and he really gives this Florida State team life.
And he, like many Seminoles, know that they need to win this to keep their bowl chances alive. You saw the graphic a moment ago. They need to win out. 3 wins to get to 6. Jordan Travis, a West Palm Beach, Florida native. Had those 2 huge plays in the Syracuse game during the 2-minute drill, which really kind of got him confident, and the entire offense turned around. On the counter, this is Corbin. And Corbin close to another first down for Florida State.
And another flag, man. Wow.
Corbin had a nice stiff arm on Kinchins during that run, and looks like they're going to tack some more yardage on the end of this. Personal foul against Miami. Against Keontre Smith.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of what we saw earlier in the game when they were having all of these penalties and giving Florida State free yardage. And here it is. He steps out of bounds, gets hit late. Listen, you got to follow the rules, baby.
From the 17. Jordan Travis has been near perfect passing the football this afternoon. He's going to keep it himself. Inside the 10, brought down at about the 8-yard line. Talked about some of the big plays he's made this year. The 3rd and 5 against North Carolina was another one. Went through his progression, converted, showing a lot of maturity and growth.
Just can't speak about just how impressive Jayshon Corbin, Jordan Travis have been in this game. And, you know, Corbin's actually been banged up a little bit over the past couple of weeks, and they wanted to limit his carries, but he's playing so well right now. They sense the opportunity to really get up on this Miami team and have them have to dig out of a hole. So, man, these guys are playing at a high level right now.
2nd and 2. Quick toss to the wide side of the field, and man, Corbin blew a tire. Lost his balance. It's going to set up 3rd down and short coming up with under a minute to go here in the first half. The Hurricane defense has spent a lot of time on the field.
Yes, they have. And it's also a byproduct of their offense not being out on the field that much, and they're not an offense that really cares about possessing the ball. They just want to score.
3rd and 3. Travis calls his own number. He's not going to make the first down. He's going to be stopped up short. It'll be 4th and about a long 2. We've seen Fitzgerald make one already today. A field goal, and
Doesn't look like they're going to kick a field goal.
Wow.
They're contemplating going for it here on 4th and 1.
With 5 seconds to go, Mike Norvell.
All right.
A little incensed about something.
Looking at the clock management there, 2 seconds left in the half. They definitely were just trying to give the impression that they're going to go for it so they can bring the field goal unit out, kick this field goal and go in the half. 20-7. Call it a success.
Especially in wake of the fact that Jordan Travis didn't play last week. Showed a little bit of rust earlier in the week during practice on Tuesday. This season, along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds, for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. And in comes Ryan Fitzgerald. Hurricanes might try and ice him again.
Okay.
2 seconds to go.
You know, Jones, you being a Florida native, you know how big this game is for recruiting, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like, you know, there's a lot of recruits here today. I heard there's about, 10 official visits going on. And Florida State is trying to stamp their mark and say, this is why you should come to Florida State because of the future. Neither team this year has a record that they really want or that we've become accustomed to seeing from these two teams traditionally. But we'll see.
This game looms large in neighborhoods all the way from Dade County to Leon County. The field goal is good from 27 yards out by Fitzgerald. And that's going to end the first half of play. This is ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. As we get ready to start the third quarter of play, Florida State going to have the football. Miami kicking off. And believe it, when they say rivalry, from Leon County in the north to Dade County in the south, today's game comes with enshrinement for the victors and bragging rights. Able to say, we run this. And this is ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. You're watching the ACC on ESPN from Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. That quarterback right there, Jordan Travis, after missing last week against North Carolina State, has come out and painted a masterpiece. 10 of 11 passing, 144 yards. His decision-making, Robert, has been pristine so far.
Yes, it has been superb, pristine. Any of those superlatives you want to use, he's been that, and he's been everything for this team thus far in the game.
Takes the toss and keeps it himself. Picked up about 4. Let's take a look at our first half stats, brought to you by PlayStation. Florida State with 115 rushing yards. That's how they've had a lot of their success during the last 5-game stretch, which included 3 consecutive wins.
Yeah, and in that first half, they were able to shut down Cerberus, right?
Yep.
The 3-headed monster on offense from Miami. They have not played that well today.
Cerberus. Okay. I knew that, by the way. Wilson made a nice move, made a couple of guys miss. And then a nice tackle after a 14-yard gain by Tyreek Stevenson. Cerberus. What, may you ask, is Cerberus? The multi-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving. I never thought that I would ever see Cerberus in RG's Keys. That's something. Folks, you need to watch. You're going to learn something today. Silvera a little shaken up. We'll come back after this.
Hey, you got to calm down. Manny Diaz actually looked at me and says, hey, we got to calm down. Yes, they do. Talk about missed tackles, turnovers, and penalties that plagued the Hurricanes in that first half. And then going forward, his leader's got to lead. And I think you could turn to Mike Harley, veteran, and his freshman quarterback, TVD, who wears the C of the captain, which is quite shocking that a youngster like that would be the captain, but he's looking for leadership right now.
That motion that he made down on 8th Street in Miami, downtown, they usually say tranquilo. Cool. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo.
Take it easy. That's what they're trying to do right now. A gain of 2 on that run by Corbin. Sets up a 3rd down and long here coming up for Florida State. Mentioned the penalties early in the game that really helped out the Seminoles on that first drive. 20-7, just underway here in the third quarter. Jordan Travis has completed his last 8 passes in a row. 3rd and 10. They got to get to about the 49 to get the first down. Taking a shot, and it's incomplete. Young had it, and then when he hit the ground, it jarred loose. He's going one-on-one against Te'Cory Couch, and it'll be 4th down. They'll punt.
Oh, man, Te'Cory Couch is just looking too comfortable out there. But Jordan Young had one-on-one. Safety went away, and he just couldn't hold on to it all the way through the catch down to the ground. Right here you see the ball doesn't quite hit the ground, but it bounces out of his hands, and Te'Cory Couch just fighting through the end of the play is a nice job finishing the play there for the Miami Hurricanes.
From the 39-yard line, 4th and 10. Astromano going to punt here. The Australian with the rugby-style kick. Boy, gets off a great moonshot. And a fair catch called all the way back at the 10-yard line by Jacoby George. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. And this this Miami offense has been arrhythmic for most of the afternoon, except for that one scoring drive. Tyler Van Dyke, 9 of 21. Robert, are you surprised? Let's get this call first.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team, number 5, during the kick. 15 yards will be added on from where the kick ended. 1st down.
With the success that Miami had coming into this game, running the football with Jalen Knight, are you surprised that Van Dyke has thrown it 21 times?
I am a little surprised at that, and it's really just about the momentum they had coming into this game. I'm not surprised that Florida State's defense has answered the call because it's rivalry week, right? It's hate week. They're going to play their best ball. But Miami's not doing that. They're not running the ball as much as they should. They're trying to throw it a little bit too much, and Van Dyke has been out of sync the entire game. So they got a little bit of a rhythm there at the end of the first half, went down, scored the touchdown. But they got to try to get that back and keep it rolling if they're going to not only get back into this game, but have a chance to walk away victorious.
Knight motions out of the backfield. They empty it out. Van Dyke taking a shot. Got a man. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. Just missing Keyshawn Smith. Wow. He appeared to be in behind Cooper.
Yeah, Keyshawn Smith sold out for that one. You'll see him here. He's got the guy beat. He's diving for the ball, hitting his head on the ground. Florida State is going to give them one-on-one matchups in certain downs and distances. And when they get them, they got to maximize those opportunities right there. Just another slightly missed throw by Tyler Van Dyke.
He's not afraid of taking chances. Not afraid of trying to fit him in tight windows. They're going to run it here. And look who's making another play. Jermaine Johnson saying no to Rashard Smith. Sets up 3rd down and long.
Mama, there goes that man. Jermaine Johnson, like I said, he's going to be a Sunday guy. He's right here at the top of your screen. And you're going to see him read it and accelerate and explode and get to the running back. I'm telling you, these guys are getting bigger, faster, and stronger. He's a scary-looking defensive player.
Loss of 5 on the play, 3rd and 15. On the Hurricanes' opening drive of the third quarter. Play clock down to 8.
Substitution. Offense had 12 men in formation. 5-yard penalty for 3rd down.
Well, you can't do that. Another penalty against the Hurricanes, their 10th of the day.
You know, when we talked to Manny Diaz, he told us you have to have all 3 aspects under control: the physical, the mental, and the emotional. And right now, Miami is shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. 10 penalties for 70 yards. That's not how you play winning football.
It looks like Florida State might have just returned the favor. Here, Thomas jumping offside that time.
Offside. Defense, number 55, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, they gave it right back.
Yeah, they got the yards right back. And
back to the 20-yard line.
It's still not a favorable 3rd down, but it's better than 3rd and 20.
Derek McClendon right there, number 55 for the Seminoles. Rambo split into the boundary. He's the hot receiver for the Hurricanes coming into the game. Number 11. They go with the trips left formation. Van Dyke going to try and take off, and brought down at the 16-yard line. The ubiquitous Jermaine Johnson. He is everywhere on the field this afternoon. Another tackle for loss, a department in which he leads the ACC in.
In big-time games, your best players have to show up. And Jermaine Johnson has showed up time and time again. He's getting blocked, he gets off, and he makes the tackle on Tyler Van Dyke. And I'll tell you guys, when I look at the play, the concept that they ran, everybody was blanketed. This Florida State defense is playing out of their mind right now.
That's the 2nd sack of the afternoon for the Seminoles. Here's the punt. Caught, fumbled in traffic, loose ball. And the Seminoles pouncing on the loose ball. It'll be 1st and 10 from about for more.
Patterson was a smart, sensitive, witty, and personable running back. He dealt with a lot, I tell you. He dealt with a hate mail campaign that tried to scare him away prior to coming to Florida State. He received death threats from fans and opponents. Unfortunately, he died at age 22 in 1972. No coaches or officials attended his funeral, and his story was forgotten for decades. His roommate, Tommy Warren, went back and brought his story to light.
On the run, it'll be Corbin.
For 2 decades, it was forgotten. And in fact, J.T. Thomas, who played here in 1970, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers as part of that steel curtain defense. The defensive back was recognized as being the first player, but it was Patterson. Yeah, he didn't play in a game, but he set the path and really never saw the impact, got to see the impact of his courage. A barrier breaker and a man with true courage.
Great job there, Quint. 3rd down and 9 coming up. Great to see Warren, his teammate, keep his legacy alive. The counter, put it on the ground, loose ball. Scramble for it, and the Hurricanes come up with it. Silvera has the ball for Miami.
Running on the field was a fumble, recovered by the defense with his knee on the ground. 1st down.
And for the first time today, the turnover chain about to make an appearance. Silvera with a big-time play on the spot.
Oh, yeah, we had just a miscommunication there, right? And then the handoff between Jordan Travis and Jayshawn Corbin. And Jade Silvera said, listen, I stayed at the crib because I want to make the crib great. And he gets the fumble recovery. And could this be a sign that Uncle Mo is switching over to the Miami Hurricanes here in Tallahassee? I guess we'll have to see.
Interesting point about Silvera. They can make a movie about this game. There's the chain. His dad is a movie producer, actually produced the movie Shatas, a popular Jamaican movie and documentary. This is Knighton getting back to the line of scrimmage. It's been tough sledding for him for most of the afternoon. 11 rushes, now 12 rushes for 31 yards.
And I just want to go back to that story about Calvin Patterson, the first black player at Florida State, and just talk about how the things that he had to go through, the things you guys described, and just how tragically his life ended, shows you how hard it is to be a trailblazer.
It's a unique battle, a tough one, not one for the faint of heart.
And you also said that he never got a chance to see the impact that he had. But I'm a guy that is a reflection of the impact that he had, because without him, I wouldn't have been able to go to college and play with people who don't look like me from different cultures. So very thankful for that and thankful to him.
Knighton's going to pick up the first down on 3rd down and 2. So the Hurricanes trying to move it down the field after that fumble recovery by Silvera. Under 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. It's the second time that Miami has had the football here in the period. 1st down and 10. Van Dyke has time, wide open at the 20. That's Franklin. Ball comes out, but he might have been down first. They're going to rule that he was down. And they're going to have a, looks like a 1st and goal.
On the field, if the runner was down. 1st down.
And Brownlee shaken up for Florida State. Talented freshman out of Miami Gardens.
And that would be a big loss for Florida State because he has been matched up against Charleston Rambo the entire game and has done a phenomenal job of that. Hopefully.
Assessed penalties as they met face to face, face mask to face mask at midfield, right on the Florida State logo. There was some dancing on the logo going on, and Florida State Seminoles apparently objecting to that. The enmity and the animus becoming apparent here as we start the 4th quarter. The Hurricanes with the football, 4th down and 2.
Oh yeah, these men ain't afraid of turning it into a street fight, but they got to keep their emotions in check. Oh baby, here we go.
They're going to go for it. Knighton in the backfield. Van Dyke hits the corner, complete, touchdown Mallory! And the Canes a point away from taking the lead. Manny Diaz rolls the dice and comes up huge.
Apparently Miami wasn't getting killed earlier. They were just getting mad. And now they've got all the momentum on their side, and they're making plays. And right here with this kick, they'll go into the lead, 21-20. They make it.
Mallory with his 3rd touchdown catch of the season, the 10th of his career. And after a long, laborious workman, John's part of Veterans Week on ESPN, brought to you by USAA. 1st and goal for the Hurricanes. Jones in for Brownlee. Van Dyke on the back shoulder fade, incomplete. Intended for Keyshawn Smith, which brings up the point. We talked about it during the break. Charleston Rambo has been conspicuous by his silence today. What's the deal there?
Yes, they're putting a safety over the top of him almost every single play. And because they've been able to stop the run without using the safeties, they haven't had to have those safeties feel. So they're playing corners and they're doubling. But they have to find a way formationally to get him open because he is such a big-time player for this offense.
He's got Jones in front of him right now, who just came in at DB. They're going to do the RPO thing into the end zone, incomplete. Mallory fell down. There was good pressure by Robert Cooper, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and goal. Cooper, Thomas, Lovett, and Johnson really making an imprint. That defensive front for the Seminoles, Robert, doing a nice job today. They've been one of the big stories of this afternoon.
Yeah, they're the Monstars, and they're playing like it today. They've been unstoppable really the whole game. Let's see if they can come up big here on 3rd and goal.
Van Dyke. Ball up, air, caught in the end zone. A Miami miracle by Harley. Touchdown, Canes. It was deflected off of the hands of Keyshawn Smith and into the arms of Mike Harley. An auspicious bounce in favor of the Hurricanes, and Harley has his 4th touchdown catch of the season.
Right here, Tyler Van Dyke's trying to throw it. He gets it tipped, and then Mike Harley says, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Oh, my Lord. This rivalry, you never know who's going to be the hero. You never know what type of plays are going to be made. But that play right there just put Miami right back in the thick of it. It looks like we have another classic on our hands soon.
From Carroll City to Coconut Grove and all points in between, you can hear a little bit of a murmur coming from South Florida as the Hurricanes come alive and make this a 6-point game.
I guess if you listen closely enough, Jones, you can hear Touchdown Tommy being fired way back in Coral Gables, huh?
You got it. And all points in between. Liberty City, Overtown, Miami Lakes, Hialeah. So much history in this rivalry. Prime time. The playmaker, Michael Irvin, who made his stamp on this great rivalry as well. Two of the more electrifying players that have taken the field. You know, during halftime, I had a chance to, when I was going out to the media room here, Robert, ran into Mickey Andrews, longtime defensive coach and coordinator here. This would make Mickey Andrews pull his hair out. A defensive coordinator, right?
It makes you wonder if on this play, will either of these guys' names be etched in the history books of this rivalry? Obviously, it's not a score that puts them ahead, but it does put them right back in it. And we could look at this later in the game and say this could have been the turning point. But Florida State has the opportunity to respond on offense and make it a moot point. Or as our guy Joey from Friends say, a moot point.
Harley had that touchdown catch against Georgia Tech last week. Got another one here. And Florida State's going to take it 1st and 10 from their own 25. Well, tonight, #1 Gonzaga hosting #5 Texas in a monster early season college hoops matchup in Spokane. Our coverage begins at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on ESPN2 as well as the ESPN app. Gonzaga coming so close last year again.
Ooh,
Mark Few got some guys.
Listen, you know who they got beat by, right? Oh, snap. Listen. That
Baylor
game,
Bears. Go ahead.
But that game could be a Final Four preview, right?
Okay.
Coach Chris Barrett coming over from Tech with a slew of transfers. Drew Timme out there trying to get those guys fired up. That's going to be a game to watch. Everybody should check that one out.
And Chet Holmgren, the big man. He's the real D. 1st down and 10. Trayshawn Ward keeps those legs moving. Picks up about 5, almost 6 on the play.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of guys like Chet Holmgren out there who can be 7-1 and cross you up.
What about
take
that?
a 3,
yeah.
Drive. Man, basketball season's right around the corner. It's already started. It's just adding to the sports atmosphere, man. Woo!
Hey, listen, here at Florida State and Tallahassee, they got one of the best coaches in the business. Leonard Hamilton is a Hall of Famer. He puts guys in the league and he graduates his players.
Yes, he does. They've had a lot of great players come out of Florida State basketball program.
2nd and 5. Travis eludes the heat. Lost the ball. Looks like he almost threw it out of bounds forward. The official there shaking his head as Harrison Hunt was there pressuring Jordan Travis. It's going to be a loss of about 4 on the play. Good pursuit here.
Yeah, you see it here. Whenever you're going after a quarterback like Jordan Travis who can run, you got to pursue him all the way through. He knew that he was about to step out of bounds and take a really bad sack far back, so he tried to throw the ball out of bounds there. But, man, sometimes you get caught and don't know what to do. That was what happened right there with Jordan Travis.
3rd down and 10. 3 receivers out to the top of your screen. A little trips left. Travis on the move. Pulls the trigger wide open at the 43-yard line. That's Douglas moving the chains with the 1st down.
Yes, it is. And when we talked to offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham, he said, listen, when we really need it, we're going to move the pocket on 3rd down to protect our quarterback and to protect our offensive line. And right there, Jordan Travis uses his legs and that arm that we've been talking about to find the open guy and move the chains on a big 3rd down.
6.5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Ward in the backfield after that 18-yard gain. Travis, well, with some great ball handling, but there's going to be a flag called on Frierson. Had a handful of face masks. We could see it from 3 stories up in our booth here. That's going to tack on a little more yardage.
Foul. Face mask, number 3 defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Listen, I haven't played defense since high school, okay? But I know that when you get into these rivalry games and all the emotions are fired up and you really want to go out there and make a play, sometimes you grab a face mask here or there. I know a lot of defensive guys talk about it. When the offensive guy puts his head down, it changes where he's at. But they're still getting all these penalties that are hurting them throughout this game, man.
Their 11th of the game. Here's the counter. And that's Trayshawn Ward, former walk-on. Let's go down to Quinn.
It's been a big night for penalties and for wedding proposals.
Oh!
We've had 3 wedding proposals. One on the big screen, one in the stands, and one at halftime between band members.
Wow, that's
love is in the air.
Yay, man.
Listen to that. He was over there looking at her like she's the only one he's ever loved.
A lot of dudes went to Jared's this week. Ball almost came out, and Travis got rocked. There were a bunch of guys there. Leonard Taylor, Steed, McLeod. It's going to be 3rd down coming up, a loss of 4 on the play. Miami's defense, no time for nuptials on that play.
Yeah, they had no time for nuptials. And you're talking about all these penalties, but do penalties and asking someone to marry you really, does it really go together like that? Man, don't want to talk about Leonard Taylor had a great play right there getting in the backfield. Miami has done a better job here in the second half of winning at the point of attack and making Florida State play behind the chains.
See if they dial up a little bit of heat here on 3rd and long. Travis on a predetermined quarterback run, and the Miami defense is going to get off the field here. It'll be 4th and long, a gain of about 1. DeAndre Johnson making the tackle on the play, and the Hurricanes, well, this is on the edge of field goal range for Ryan Fitzgerald. He has a long of 53. Let's see what Mike Norvell decides to do here.
Yeah,
the ball is on the 37. That make it about a 54-yarder.
Yeah, and we already saw him attempt a pretty long field goal today, and it didn't look that great. So,
but it wasn't wide right.
Listen now, shut your mouth. Don't say that.
I'm just saying. Mastromano in the punt. Nose of the football down. He's going to angle and try and drop it right inside the 5. Wow. An incredibly proficient punt by Mastromano. Meanwhile, Jordan Travis, Florida State's quarterback, just went in their athletic training tent a moment ago. We'll see if Quint has an opportunity to find something out for us. Well, tonight, 7:30 Eastern over on ACC Network. The day's capped off by a battle for first in the Atlantic Division. Number 16, North Carolina State, taking on number 12, Wake Forest, who look to bounce back after their first loss of the season to North Carolina. You don't have ACCN? Go to getaccn.com for instant access. And by the way, a win for the Canes mathematically keeps them alive to win, or at least get a piece of the Coastal Division title tonight.
Yes, it does. And if you're going to watch that Wake Forest-NC State game, could be a lot of points. Sam Hardman, Devin Leary, but that NC State defense is something serious.
97 yards away, Van Dyke fires, and it's caught. There he is finally, Rambo with the reception. He got in behind Jarvis Brownlee, who has since reemerged, come back into the game after being shaken up. A 33-yard gain, Robert.
And every Miami Hurricane fan right now is saying, finally, we get the ball in Charleston Rambo's hands. You know what? That was a great catch, great coverage, but there is no coverage for the perfect throw.
1st and 10, Van Dyke. Incomplete. Intended for Keyshawn Smith, broken up by Cooper. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And as we look back at that previous play with Charleston Rambo facing off against Jarvis Brownlee, listen, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and right here, you see him make that catch. It's big for him, big for the sideline, and the entire coaching staff was excited.
Wow. Look at that. Jordan Travis, starting quarterback, going into the locker room to be checked out. Van Dyke, wide open. Rooster, ready to crow with a 1st down to the 35-yard line. Jalen Knighton, a.k.a. Rooster, moves the chains again for the Hurricanes. He picks up 29 as Jordan Travis, looking a little beleaguered there inside the locker room, going to be tended to. Meanwhile, back on the field from the 35. Van Dyke Rambo complete and about a 5-yard gain. They're picking on Jordan Brownlee. Let's go down to Quint.
Travis went in the tent, came out holding what appeared to be his hand, jogged off the field. Mackenzie Milton, meanwhile, warming up behind the Seminole bench.
Quint, was it his throwing hand? Were you able to notice?
I couldn't tell. I don't want to say it's a hand. It's definitely an upper body.
Gotcha. Great job. 2nd and 5. Well, there's a reason why he's inside the locker room right now on a potential injury. And we got a whistle prior to the play here.
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's going to go against Zion Nelson. 12th penalty of the night. Let's take one more look at where we think that injury might have occurred. Oh, wow. Well, it wasn't the hand to the face mask, right?
Looks like a forearm, maybe?
Yeah, upper arm, and it's his throwing hand. Meanwhile, his counterpart hands it off to Rooster, and Knighton is going to be stopped up for a loss of about 1 on the play. I had a great conversation with Jalen Knighton earlier this week. He said that he was ready to have one of the best games of his career at Miami. In high school, he said he could always see the emotion and the energy between these two schools when they met on the field. And during the first 4 games that he had to sit out, he relied on his dad, who played in the NFL, and his mom, Shalita Knighton, to keep his spirits up. Van Dyke incomplete into traffic intended for Smith. And it's 4th down. Cooper breaking it up.
Yeah, we talked about how well Jarvis Brownlee Jr. has been playing, but Omarion Cooper has been playing just as good. Has an interception today. Right there, makes a big play on 3rd down. Man, I'm telling you, Miami was just starting to look like the Miami that they've been for the past 3 weeks. Florida State's defense buckled down on them.
Got a big stop there. And now Andres Borregales is coming into the football game, trying to attempt this field goal from 53 yards out. 12 of 16 on the season, has a long of 55. This well within his range. And it might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Oh no, Jarvis
there's
Brownlee
a flag
ran
down
into the kicker. Oh,
it was
man.
no good. Jarvis Brownlee. And that expression on his face says it all.
Yep.
You don't need the microphone from the official to know what happened here.
Norvell was saying that he got pushed into him, but they always tell you once you get around there.
5-yard penalty running into the kicker, defense number 5. The penalty is 5 yards. We'll replay 4th down.
So it's still 4th down, but they'll move it a little bit closer for Borregales.
Yeah, it puts Brownlee in a tough position there, right? You're selling out around the edge, trying to get out there and block the kick, and you don't quite get there.
Okay.
Got to be able to slow yourself down or adjust your angle to be in front of the kicker, but it does look like he got pushed into it. It's just unfortunate, man.
4th down, it looks like they're going to go for it here. Van Dyke comes back onto the field as his counterpart, Jordan Travis, also reemerges from the locker room. 4th and 6. Manny Diaz going to go for it here. Delivers. Caught. Rambo with the 1st down at the 13. He was working against Brownlee and made a huge play. So Diaz does it with the gamble.
Oh my, 4th and 6. This is a lot of drama for your mama right here, baby. And who do you go to? Charleston Rambo. Mama, there goes that man.
And Rooster caught in the backfield. That's going to be a loss. Jermaine Johnson continues to put money on tape. I mean, he has been spectacular today defensively.
Yes, he has, and we talked about it. Listen, Kayvon Thibodeau, way out there on the West Coast, is one of the top, if not the best player in all the country. But boy, oh boy, Jermaine Johnson is showing up today big time, and he's been doing it all year. It's good to see him out there making plays.
Franklin in the backfield. Van Dyke into the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Rambo, who was looking for his 5th reception, has 60 yards on 4.
Man, I can tell you what, Tyler Van Dyke, a.k.a. Tyler Van Dimes, he is really showing off his arm on this possession. And really in the second half, because that throw right there, although it was incomplete, not many guys can even attempt that throw.
I spoke to one of your Heisman Trophy winning buddies, Gino Toretto, a little bit earlier, who says Van Dyke reminds him a little bit of Phillip Rivers in a way like he'll take chances to get into tight windows. 3rd and long, completes it out of the backfield. Smith on the move, short of the first down, inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. He was stopped by Kevin Knowles, the freshman. He picked up 12. He needed about 2 more. Oh boy, what do we do now? He gambled last time on 4th down. Time winding down in the 3rd quarter.
He's definitely going to take the quarter and think about this. 4th and 2, kick a field goal, make it a 3-point game, or go for it.
Or become a cheerleader for the fans that have driven up the Florida Turnpike or up I-75 or across Interstate 10 and 13 of 21 for Tyler Van Dyke. And that has left a lot of the crowd here at Doak Campbell in stunned silence. But Jordan Travis is back on the sidelines after emerging from the locker room and being worked on by the athletic training staff.
You know, we said that Miami didn't have any energy on the sideline, but now they do. And what does that say about Tyler Van Dyke? That he was able to come back from the struggles early in the game and ball out for his squad to put them back in the lead here in the 4th quarter.
And Florida State going to take it 1st and 10. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, guys, exciting finish coming your way. Going to round up some Big Ten for you real quick. Michigan State and Maryland. Remember, Michigan already got the win today. Peyton Thorne to Jalen Reed. They are all over Maryland, 34-14. And Iowa, this Big Ten West is also crazy. Alex Padilla, the Keegan Johnson, looked like he was stopped for nothing. But Iowa football just trots out athletes. 24-16 in that one.
All right, back here, 14:56 to go in the 4th quarter. In the 66th chapter of Florida State against Miami. Let's see what Jordan Travis looks like on this drive. Check out his health and fitness. Back to pass. A little jump pass, incomplete. There was some good heat on him. It was intended for McDonald. There was good pressure up front by the Hurricanes front.
Timeout. An injured player.
Got a timeout in the field with. They are all dressed up, ready to show out. Off the field as well.
That was a great shot of the guarded and goal guys right there.
Douglas in the backfield. Travis looking to pass. Down the sidelines, incomplete, intended for Parchment. Andrew Parchment, the senior from Cypress Bay High School in Weston, Florida.
Oh, man, Andrew
had a beat on it.
Andrew Parchment must not have been thirsty right there because he was wide open, and he just started slowing down. It was actually a great throw by Jordan Travis. Would have hit him right in stride if he would have just been aware that he had an opportunity to get the ball.
Parchment from a great program down in Weston, Florida, played for Mark Guandolo, one of the top coaches formerly in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area. 3rd down and 10. Travis going to sling it again, completes it to Parchment, went right back to him, but it's out of bounds short of the 1st down. DJ Ivey pushed him out of bounds, so it'll be 4th and about 2 on the 8-yard pickup. And in comes the punt unit.
Jones, it's crazy. Success in a rivalry, right? It's not owned, it's leased. Okay. And we saw early in the game how Florida State was going down, putting up points, controlling the ball, and playing smart football. And they were putting those deposits in. But now, it looks like Miami has that momentum. They're the ones that are putting the deposits in. And we're just going to see who's got enough money at the end of the day to keep making those deposits and come away victorious.
So you trying to tell me the Hurricanes just had the lead on layaway? They put it on layaway?
You know,
they got good credit, I hear.
Hey, listen, we know what layaway is. Okay?
800 score, 800 credit score. They're used to playing and very comfortable in close game situations. They feel right at home when the margins are tenuous. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 when we come back. Walk around town and observe a little bit of artwork. Seminoles trying to paint a happy ending. And a wonderful picture here in this 66th edition of this rivalry. Van Dyke sliding in safely for an 8-yard gain on the play. One thing about Van Dyke, that if you look at his comportment, his disposition since the opening kickoff, it's been very level, Robert. Not too high, not too low, just right in the middle, regardless of those early miscues that he had.
Yeah, and the thing he did really well there was when it's time to go, you go.
Here's Rooster on the run. Tripped up short of the 1st down by a yard, but it looks like there's a flag down.
Illegal substitution, defense. The place player did not get off the field before the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. The result of the penalty is a 1st down.
1st down Hurricanes. Here's the look. This is what leadership looks like. His voice intoning passionately on the sidelines. And as a freshman, a guy that has really helped revive and resuscitate the Hurricane season from the time he took over.
He hasn't. That's why we're so shocked earlier in the game when he wasn't playing as well, because these last 3 weeks he's been on fire.
Off the RPO, taking a shot deep on the post and overshoots his receiver, Rambo. You know, after the North Carolina loss, offensive coordinator Rhett Lashlee took him aside and out of the quarterback's room, Robert, and you comment on this after. I want to get your perspective on it. And he said, hey, listen, tell me what you really see. Got him in a room by himself. Tell me what you really see, how you really feel about things. And Lashlee said he wanted him to be real amongst just the two of them.
Yeah, Rhett Lashlee talked about how, you know, sometimes when you're around a group of people, you don't want to say what you really think or what was really going on. So he took him off by himself, and he got him to open up. And that has helped their relationship, and that relationship between play caller and quarterback is the most important thing.
Timeout. Miami, 1st charge, timeout.
And right now, Coach Lashlee is hotter than July.
Calm dialogue. And now Van Dyke, you see his humbleness, his confidence.
Gets rid of it in time too, Quint, to his main target, Rambo.
And he's a team-first guy, Robert. What stands out to me today is, Mark, you mentioned it, even Stephen Keel, you know, one time I saw him slam his headset, but otherwise, this kid, he's so steady for a freshman.
Oh, and he's wheeling and dealing out there right now. Great job by Charleston Rambo, making sure he worked with the quarterback when he broke the pocket.
And Dyke flushed out of the pocket. Got a lot of real estate ahead of him. Got a good block, too, inside the 30. Trips inside the 25-yard line. And the Canes offense on a roll right now.
The Canes offense is on a roll right now, but Tyler Van Dyke right there on that run looked like he was falling for about 30 yards.
He got tripped up by the 30-yard line.
He got tripped up a little bit, but listen, he's keeping his eyes down the field. When it's time to go, he goes. He sees all that open space, and he's like, oh, me? Okay, let's go. Get vertical. Tyler Van Dyke is playing really well right now, guys.
They spotted at the 26-yard line after the 19-yard scamper.
And the interesting thing about him is he benefited last year from sitting behind D'Eriq King and really learning, and Coach Lashlee talked about how he learned from his leadership as well.
Van Dyke swarmed, swallowed, and sacked back at the 35. Guess who? You only got one guess. Jermaine Johnson. He has been a terror, a demon in that backfield.
He's right in there at the bottom of your screen right there, and he just keeps making plays. There's no other way to say it. He's a big-time player.
Do they need to double team? Do they need to double team him, Robert?
I mean, they should have double-teamed him 3 quarters ago. Listen, he's got 3 sacks. At some point, you have to realize that what you're doing ain't working. He keeps making these types of plays. Chip him, double-team him, whatever, but don't let him take you out of this game.
Loss of 9. Van Dyke out of the backfield hits Rooster. Ready to crow. Rooster took a hit and keeps going. Knighton! Touchdown, Canes! The Rooster got rocked, but kept on going. A 35-yard touchdown catch and superlative, sublime run after the catch for the score.
Jonesy, special players make special plays, and the Rooster just did something filthy out there on the field.
He told me earlier that his idol growing up was Adrian Peterson. A stunning turnaround here in the second half. Miami Hurricanes alive, showing a lot of vitality right now. A 21-0 second half deal, outscoring Florida State as we check in with the studio.
Guys, want to check in on a couple of Texas running backs. UTSA was getting all they could from Southern Miss, but now they are pulling away. Looks as if Meat will stay undefeated at 9-0. And then speaking of Texas running backs, Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M still very much in the thick of it in the SEC West. That game coming up right here on ESPN when you guys conclude Miami and Florida State.
All right, 11:04 to go in the fourth quarter. Treshaun Ward in the backfield. And it's still Jordan Travis in at quarterback. Douglas in motion. Handoff to Ward, and Ward with a nice gain of about 3. Well, this was the scene on the sidelines a moment ago. Knighton, a.k.a. Rooster, being prompted by his teammates. You can feel the swag coming back a little bit. The drip sold separately.
The drip is sold separately, and there's Ed Reed. He's loving what he's seeing right now.
Second down and 3. Reed, a Hall of Famer. One of the GOATs, one of the best to ever do it. And that's Treshaun Ward picking up the first down. Reed with a prominent role as part of the Hurricanes program, hired by Manny Diaz a couple of years ago, chief of staff, and his influence on the sidelines and locker room with administrators cannot be overstated.
Just imagine, right? You go to the U, there's Ed Reed. He's not coaching yet, but he's there. You can bounce ideas off of him, and just his presence in that building has to be phenomenal for those young men.
Corbin in the backfield on 1st and 10. Great moves by Jordan Travis, and got down after a 5-yard gain. Look at the stark contrast between the first and second half for Mike Norvell's team. 3 punts, a field goal. They lost a fumble and missed a field goal. Had a comfortable lead in the first half. 9.5 minutes to go here in the fourth. Travis down the sideline. Incomplete for Wilson, not even close, and a quizzical, puzzled look by Travis over at his coaching staff on the sidelines.
Man, as you know, Jonesy, in these types of games, when momentum shifts back and forth, somebody's got to make a play. Who's going to be that guy for Florida State? Obviously, the one who's been doing it the majority of the day has been Jordan Travis. But here, 3rd and 4, maybe it's one of these running backs that come up big with a nice run, but Florida State needs something good to happen for them so they can try to get this momentum back.
Corbin is averaging 5 yards a pop tonight. Travis looking to pass it, and now tucks it under. He's got some work to do. He's going to come up a little bit short. 4th and about half a yard to go. And with 9:22 to play, what does Mike Norvell do?
He goes for it.
Okay.
Listen, you're down 8, 4th and 1. It's crunch time, man. Trust your offense, trust your guys. Call the best play you got in your playbook. You've been practicing this play all week. Go out and execute.
Still just a 1-score game. 4th down and short. Florida State trying to snap their 2-game losing streak on the heels of a 3-game winning streak, on the heels of a 4-game losing streak. That's been the story of their season. 4th and short.
The clock stopped. There was no signal on field to stop the clock. So we're going to reset the clock to 9 minutes and 9 seconds, please. And then it will start on my signal.
Oh, he just took time off the clock right there, huh?
They had a quick look at that. At least we didn't have to review it and stop the game much. 4th and 1. McLeod, Ford, Harrison, Hunt, and Johnson up front for the Hurricanes. He's going to do it himself. Ward. Boy, that's going to be a big hit. Let's see where they spot it. It looks like he got the first down. Remember, that line that we have on your television screen is merely an approximation. It is not exact. Steed came up from his will linebacker spot and brought some smoke on that hit.
Yeah, it really looked like Jordan Travis might get that with ease, but he ran into a buzzsaw real quick, and I think he still got enough for the first down.
By that much. The length of the football. They keep the drive alive. 1st down and 10 for Jordan Travis out of West Palm Beach, Florida. A guy that coaches rave about in terms of how much he cares about his teammates and how much he cares about his individual performance. Toss into the boundary. This is Corbin trying to square those shoulders and get north-south. Pushed out of bounds by Williams. Picked up 5 on the play.
This is what I want to see Florida State's offense continue to do. It's been these quick hitting runs, control the clock. Like you said, it's a one-score game.
Right.
You don't have to start throwing the ball every single down. It's not really your strong suit. But when they do get that opportunity to hit the big play down the field, they have to capitalize on it.
2nd down and 5. Douglas in motion. They run the counter again and nowhere to go for Treshaun Ward. The former walk-on was put on scholarship just this spring. Jonathan Ford making the tackle on the play. Well, Tuesday we'll have exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reaching the guys, breaking it down top to bottom, coaches, reactions, and a lot more with committee chairman Gary Barta, University of Iowa AD. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. 3rd down and 4 coming up. And Travis under duress completes it. A flag down. The catch made by Williamson. A lot going on here, a lot to unpack. Is it a first down? Will it stand because of the flag? Marcus Clark made the tackle.
Personal foul. Continued hands to the face. Defense number 33. A 15-yard penalty. First down.
Chance Williams called for the penalty here. Hands to the face.
Yeah, number 33 right here on your screen just continues to put his hands in the face. And guess what, Chance Williams? You give Florida State another chance with a fresh set of downs. Man, Miami is really, really hurting themselves with these penalties. And
13 of them, Robert, for a total of 105 yards.
13 penalties. That is not winning football.
Jordan Travis steps up, lets go of it, completes it at the 18-yard line to Wilson. And another Seminoles first down. Was working against Stevenson.
And as you can see, when you allow offenses to move down the field with penalty yardage, it turns into plays like this. They get opportunities. This is an area where they feel really comfortable, and Jordan Travis stepping up in the pocket, making big-time throws late in the game.
Up at the line of scrimmage rather quickly. A trips right formation. They're going to run it instead. And about a yard carry there for Treshaun Ward. Talked about Ward and how he was just put on scholarship at Florida State this past spring. That on the heels of a very productive season before that. Really got the attention of the coaching staff. Running scout team. I like to call them scout team All-Americans.
Oh, yes.
Where you're tearing up the ones and the starters and giving them a hard time. They put them on a Scully after that.
And listen, sometimes when you are that scout team All-American, that's your only way to showcase your skills. And
what would you know about that? You don't know nothing about scout team.
Get out of here.
2nd and 9. Travis delivers it complete at the 20-yard line to McDonald. He's brought down immediately. Under 6 minutes to go. Frierson with the tackle on the play.
And they say Gilbert Frierson is one of their emotional leaders, and you see him. Look, he's playing with his emotions on his sleeves. I think he got braids with beads in him back there. My Lord, this guy's got all the swag. You got to have a lot of confidence to wear braids with beads in them.
Yes, sir. Frierson out of Coconut Grove, Florida. Third down and 11. Travis drills it. It's caught. They're going to mark it about the 11-yard line to Douglas. And he's going to be about 4 yards shy of the first down. Tyreek Stevenson there to meet him immediately on the 8-yard gain. Fourth down, and in comes the field goal unit to a smattering of chorus of light boos here. What do you make of the call here to go for the field goal, Robert, with the clock running?
Take the points. Listen, take the points. That way when you come back, your defense gets a stop, right? You're trusting your defense to get that stop, and you score, now you win the game. Now you don't have to score and go for 2. It's a smart decision.
Fitzgerald, 2 of 3 today, knocks this one through from 29 yards out. The margin is down to 5.
And listen, when number 11, Jermaine Johnson, is on your side, you trust that defense in this situation. These guys have to step up and make the plays to give their offense back the ball. And maybe we're in store for another one of those classics. But if you're Miami, you get the ball 4 minutes, 4-minute drill. You have to possess the ball and run the clock out so that Florida State doesn't have a fighting chance to win this game.
There's a look at one of the big playmakers for Florida State today. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State 1 through 4. Cincinnati not invited to the party despite the win yesterday. We'll see where they end up on Tuesday night.
Oh, man, I could go off on this. Listen, Cincinnati's been winning all year.
It's
and
wrong.
Winning should mean something.
Yeah.
And guess what? Did you see the 6 and 7 right there? You got Michigan and Michigan State. How in the world is Michigan ranked higher than Michigan State when they just played a couple weeks ago and Michigan State won the game?
Hey, bro.
Come on now.
Bro, they're your friends. You visited them, the committee, right?
This is unbelievable.
You went down and did the mock college football playoff scenarios.
Sure did, and walked out mad.
They're your friends. Those are your people. 5-point lead. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, checking in on Georgia and Tennessee. Another week and another slow bleed of an opponent. 34-10, they still haven't allowed an opponent to score 14 points this season. Still the fourth quarter. And Matt Corral doing some pregame yoga. About 17 minutes away from kickoff between Texas A&M and Ole Miss right here on ESPN.
Is that what they call the down dog position?
No, that's not down dog, but that is a little bit of T-spine rotation.
T-spine, okay.
You know,
all right.
Not quite yoga, but listen, it's okay, Matt.
He might need some straightening after this game. Van Dyke delivers a strike complete to Harley, who had that miraculous touchdown catch a little bit earlier. It was a tone-changing reception. It was a deflection off of Keyshawn Smith and into Harley's arms for the touchdown.
Yeah, and it really kick-started this entire offense. And as you'll see now, Miami normally goes fast and tries to get as many plays in as they can, but in this moment they have to slow it down and try to eat that clock up. We'll see if their offense can still function as well in that tempo.
Hand it off. Knighton. He hasn't put up the staggering numbers that he did a week ago, but he's been very dependable. 15 rushes, now 16 for about 31 yards. But good enough for him to keep them honest defensively, Robert?
Yes, he keeps them honest defensively, and you saw right there, everything that Miami normally does is fast, but even the mesh point right there was slow. And Knighton's really seen a bigger impact in the passing game, as you see. 2 catches, 64 yards. He says he can do it all, and he's kind of showing that even though they have a little, shut him down a little bit in the running game.
Van Dyke, little bubble screen to Harley, broke 1 tackle and gained about 3 on the play. Knowles making the stop. It'll be third down coming up.
Big time third down. As you see that clock continues to wind down, it'll be inside 3 minutes before this next play gets run. They get another first down here. It's just going to put more and more pressure on this Florida State defense to come up with big time stops.
Huge call coming up for Rhett Lashlee, the offensive coordinator. You saw a moment ago, third down and 4. Completes it to Mallory, the tight end, fighting, but coming up a little bit short. The Seminoles defense impervious on that play.
And look who's there. Look who's there to make sure Will Mallory can't get the first down. It's Jermaine Johnson. Once again, his motor never stops, people.
Great pursuit.
He comes from the left side of your screen and lays the smack down on Will Mallory right there to ensure that he goes down and cannot continue to fight for extra yardage. It's 4th and 1. The question now is, what does Manny Diaz do?
We've seen him gamble on 4th down twice and be successful. Let's see who's making big moves on the field today, brought to you by SoFi. And in the second half, the Hurricanes have had all the answers. They have been very opportunistic. And then the touchdown, the miraculous reception from Miami that they'll be talking about for a long time. And then Rambo emerging as the threat that he was talked about being coming into the game. And Mallory with the reception and the touchdown there. Rooster starting to make some noise as well. And that's where we are right now. 4th down and 2. Headley into punt. Wow. Going to get a great bounce, but they won't stop it before it gets into the end zone. Wow.
Man, I was just about to say that they've been almost like ball magnets. As you saw that highlight reel, the ball just keeps finding them. But right there, it kind of creeped into the end zone before they could get there. That could be a big play. Being backed up in your own territory when you're trying to go on a game-winning drive is a lot harder than having the ball out for 25.
So with 2:19 to go, Robert, that field goal that Mike Norvell decided to take proved to be the right move. With 2:19 to go, they get an opportunity to get possession of the football again and drive it down the field. Only a touchdown will do, though, at this point.
And I got to correct myself. They're actually going to be at the 20-yard line, but that's a much better operating situation than being backed up in your own territory.
Travis going up top. Caught! Douglas! Huge! The Seminoles strike on the first play.
And we talked about it. They needed to run the ball, but when they have an opportunity to make a big play down the field, they've got to do it. And who does it? It's the man out the slot, Juki Douglas. Look at this man flying down the field. He said, you want to go one-on-one? No, 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 no. That's a bad idea.
59-yard pickup, first down and 10. Under 2 minutes to go. Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining. From the 21. Travis handing it off between the tackles. It's Jashaun Corbin. No gain on the play. Maybe a gain of 1. Second down.
Man, this stadium is alive right now. I don't think I've heard them cheer that loud the entire game. It shows you how much it means.
Or perhaps season, Robert, the way it's been here this year in Tallahassee.
Very true, Jonesy.
Little blitz coming for the Hurricanes. Into the end zone. Oh, contact, no flag. Kinchens was there closely with Douglas. And it almost looked like Douglas ran him over.
Well, I will say this. As a defensive back, you were entitled to your own ground.
Okay.
But right here, it looks like there was a lot of hand fighting going back and forth, but I can completely understand why the boos in the stadium are going right now, because my man Kinchens did not allow the receiver to make a play on the ball. But hey,
sometimes it's tough to tell who's holding who.
Kinchens might have saved himself there by acting like he was trying to catch the ball there.
Third down and 9. Yeah, we got a flag down. There might have been a little movement up front by the Hurricanes. And that has been the story of the game for Miami. Penalties.
False start. Offense number
This one's going to go against
5-yard penalty.
Florida State.
Yeah, it looks like they could have had a penalty on Miami there, the previous play. But right there, they get Florida State for a false start. Man, I was going to say maybe the refs don't want to take the game into their own hands and affect it. But I guess a false start's a little easier to call than a pass interference.
Earlier this season, the Seminoles had big problems with penalties. That was their 8th of this game, 3rd and 14. Travis, ball comes out loose, and it's an incomplete pass. He's looking for Douglas again, so now 4th and 14 with 1:05 to go. They've got to get to about the 11-yard line for the first down. They've got 2 timeouts remaining, as does Miami.
Yeah, they've got no choice. They have to go for it. You know, we talked with offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham, and he said in these situations, in a gotta-have-it situation, they may max protect and just work a 2 or 3 man concept down the field. We'll just see if Miami is going to bring pressure here or if they're going to play coverage on a 4th and 14. Big time call here for Manny Diaz.
From the 25. Travis delivers. Caught! Parchment! Down to the 1! Parchment atoning for that earlier error. 24 yards on the cusp of scoring.
And would you look at that? When you need it the most, Jordan Travis steps up and he uses his arm on 4th and 14 to get the big-time conversion to Andrew Parchment. And look at that smile on his face.
They're going to see where he will be marked down.
Rolling on the field, if the runner was short of the goal line, that play is under further review.
You saw that smile on Jordan Travis's face walking off the field because he knows he just made a big-time play. And right here, Andrew Parchment is clearly down. He's not into the end zone. Right here, you see the ball. Wrist, all of that is down.
Short of the end zone there.
Short of the end zone. Here he is, trying to find it. Boom, gets hit. Let's see where the elbow. Yep, elbow's down. That's actually not that definitive a look right there. Not gonna lie to you. But the other look was, the previous look was pretty clear. His wrist and elbow were down before he got into the end zone. But man, look at this. This guy's a transfer from Kansas. He's coming over. He had the mistake, as you talked about, Jonesy, earlier when he wasn't paying attention. He was paying attention on that one, though.
Second reception of the afternoon, of the night for Andrew Parchment. One of the many talented players out of that South Florida area that is playing for the Seminoles. As I mentioned, here's the call.
Further review, the ruling on the field that the runner was just short of the goal line, that ruling is confirmed. It will be Florida State's ball, 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
Boy, what a pass by Jordan Travis, though. He delivered a dime to Parchment.
Everybody, including us, have talked about his legs the entire game, how he's gone out here and been electrifying. But it's his arm, 18 to 26 for 274 yards. And in the biggest moments, he's made the right play.
A game that has seen him go into the locker room to be attended to by the athletic training staff and then re-emerging. This is very much like the Syracuse drive when he led his team down the field for the game-winning score. But can he do it again against the Hurricanes under the bright lights? This is what rivalries are all about. And you'd have to go all the way back to 1951 for the first meeting between these two schools. Miami won it 35-13. And in the 65 editions since that, there have been so many different stories, so much elation, celebration, and conversely, a lot of heartbreak. Both these coaches, Robert Griffin III, have witnessed this rivalry from different perspectives, and now they coach in it. It's really amazing.
It really is amazing. And, you know, Coach Norvell didn't get to experience this game last year.
Right.
But there's a lot of guys on that field right now that have lived for this moment. They watched it growing up. They committed to Miami or Florida State because they wanted to play in this game. This is must-see TV. It's one of the greatest rivalries in all of college sports.
What about Manny Diaz? Attended Florida State as a student, now coaching Miami. You talk about the cross-pollination, so many different ways in this game. Here we go, 1st and goal. No signal, no touchdown. Stopped up short of the end zone. Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining. Miami with 1 remaining.
You know, I actually like the call of the QB sneak because I don't think you need to get cute here.
Okay.
Right? You only got to get a certain amount of real estate to get this touchdown. But, yeah, don't go into a passing formation or run any weird plays. Either do the QB sneak, turn around, hand it off to the running back, get it in the end zone, and walk away victorious.
Looks like they're going to rewind the clock to 36. So it'll be 2nd down and goal. And Dyke forced to be a spectator right now.
I was going to say, Jonesy, there's so much on the line right now. But every blade of grass you have to fight for in games like this. And recruiting is a big part of it as well. We talked about how many recruits are here in attendance, how many recruits are watching this game, trying to decide where they want to go. And our guy Lee Corso has once said, you don't beat football teams, you out-recruit them. And this is a battle right here for recruits. It's a battle for supremacy, for bragging rights.
You got to have the ordnance, the weaponry, and that's where it begins. 2nd and goal for Jordan Travis. Keeps it again. No signal, short of the end zone on consecutive plays. And there's a flag down as well.
Offside. Defense.
Oh, man.
Goes half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
You can read his lips. He said, bow up. 32 seconds to go. It's pretty simple from this point.
It's goal line stand or goal line touchdown, right? They seem to be willing to just line up in the QB sneak formation and try to find different gaps to get it through.
And this game that's shaping up to be a real epic classic.
The clock will start on my signal.
The first rivalry game between these schools without Bobby Bowden. 2nd and goal coming up. Travis again. And he got in. Touchdown Seminoles.
Moving on the field. It's a touchdown. Play is under further review.
We're going to take another look at it. But it clearly appeared that Jordan Travis got in.
It really did. You know, they went up the middle, they went to the right, they went to the left, and right here you see it, touchdown. He's in the end zone, he got a little help from his friends. And listen, people, win, lose, or draw, it's always popping at recess in College Town. But the Seminoles are looking to give Nole Nation even more reason to party.
It's a 1-point game. Mike Norvell, if this stands, already indicated they're going to go for 2.
After further review, the running of a touchdown is confirmed.
So the Hurricanes have a little bit of time to work with. 26 seconds left on the clock. And they've got no timeouts remaining.
Really, if they're successful here or not, it doesn't change Miami's plan. They have to at least go try to get a field goal.
Right.
But if they can get this two-point conversion, they can ensure themselves that a field goal will not beat them. Oh!
Wow, there's more movement up front.
Doesn't
Travis
matter.
says, don't worry about it, I got this. JT.
Offside. Defense. Penalties decline. The point after is good.
As in JT money. He was cash. 26 seconds to go. The Seminoles up by 3.
Here he is right here. Gets the guy to jump off sides and says, you know what? It don't matter. I'm going to just go out there and stun on him. Gets the two-point conversion, almost ensuring that his team will not lose this game by a field goal for sure. And they got 26 seconds. Miami has 26 seconds to get in field goal range or score a touchdown to win this game.
Coaches say Jordan Travis can be elite. And he showed elite discernment and dominion over the offense on that last drive. That's the second time, folks, that he's done it. He did it earlier this year in a comeback against Syracuse when it looked like they might be dead. So he is a real maestro, Robert, when it comes to running that 2-minute drill.
Yes, it is. He has confidence in that 2-minute drill. He made throws that people didn't think he could make during that 2-minute drill. And listen, man, we said who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be the hero at the end of this game? Whose name is going to be etched in stone? And you're looking at him right there, and his guys know it. But they got to finish this game and ensure that Miami can't come back.
I'm going to start 1st and 10 from the 25. Let's go to the studio.
Guys, we'll get it right back to you, but if you're looking for Texas A&M Ole Miss, we've kicked that game off over on ESPN News. We will move it right over here to ESPN at the conclusion of this one. Again, Texas A&M Ole Miss is starting on ESPN News.
Miami with one last gasp effort, starting from their own 25-yard line. At one point, they had a 21-0 scoring streak and binge here in the second half, only to see Jordan Travis rally the Seminoles offense to retake the lead.
Oh, this stadium's going to be rocking like Coliseum right now, or Target, since they turned it into a Target, unfortunately.
Miami doesn't have any timeouts remaining. Van Dyke. Incomplete, intended for Rambo at the 45. Battling against Cooper. It'll be 2nd down and 10. 21 seconds to play.
I don't blame Tyler Van Dyke for trying to go to his main man, Charleston Rambo. He's been a star all year. Expect him to continue to try to get to him and Will Mallory and Keyshawn Smith. They've got a plethora of weapons, but time is not on their side with 21 seconds.
Saw the graphic. Last 5 Hurricane games decided by 4 points or less. Incomplete over the middle. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Keyshawn Smith, the closest receiver for Van Dyke. 16 seconds to play.
And you want to talk about the closest receiver? Well, look at that man right there again, Jermaine Johnson, number 11, making Tyler Van Dyke throw the ball earlier than he wanted to. Man, the amount of impact he has had in this game is unprecedented. This guy is a bona fide baller.
3rd and 10. Van Dyke lets it rip. Into traffic, incomplete. A big hit on Mallory as Cooper and he collide. Both getting up slowly. And it'll be 4th down and 10. Ashley gets his play to the quarterback. With 9 seconds to go, Hurricanes really in tough here.
Yeah, it's a do-or-die situation right here. Honestly, I'm a little shocked that they didn't throw a flag there, maybe for targeting, but I'm not targeting, just hitting a defensive receiver, but the corner was trying to catch the ball, and that's probably why they didn't call it. It was accidental contact.
Here we go. Van Dyke finds his receiver at the 44. 2 seconds to go. Rambo, they got to get to work quickly. Got to spike and maybe get a play.
Oh,
wow. He took a long time before spiking. It took 3 steps on the drop back.
Oh, my Lord. Tyler Van Dyke, what are you doing?
And Mike Norvell seems to be indicating should be 0 time left.
He took a 3-step drop and spiked it.
Yeah.
By rule, in order for the quarterback to spike the ball, there has to be 3 seconds on the clock. There were 2. Therefore, the ball game is over.
Oh, my Lord.
What an inglorious ending for the Hurricanes.
And the Seminoles say less. We got it.
Florida State ends their 4-game losing streak against their neighbors to the south. And it's time to dance and party. Another classic in this rivalry of 2 storied college football teams. But between them, they've got 7 national championships. Neither in the championship picture this year, but still, it's about pride, and it showed glowingly today from both sides. 31-20.